Hello and welcome to a new episode of the BIMvoice podcast. Today we have with us Ole Kristian Kvarsvik, who is the managing director at Rendra AS, part of GDM Technology Group. And their main product is Streambeam, a tool for BIM, actually. Hi, Ole Kristian.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good. It's so nice to have you here. Can you
Thank
please
you.
tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm, as you said, Ole Kristian Kvarsvik. I'm a structural engineer by training, but I wrote my master thesis back in 1999 about 4D simulation. So we connected the schedule to a product model or a 3D model or BIM as we know it today. So that kind of set up my career. So I've been stuck in the BIM industry since then. Working first 10 years approximately for a public client in Norway, Statsbygg. So I know the public client side of things quite well. From there, I moved to Rofus, which is programming, database, content management software, working with BIM, big hospital projects, etc. Was there 6 years before I moved to Rendra. So been here for more than 3 years, and now managing director. I've been quite heavily involved in Open BIM formats with Building Smart, or previously known as IAI. So been working with the Open BIM standards, which was important as a public client where I started my BIM career, because we saw that, I would say that the data was locked in to the applications. It was a problem. We didn't own our own data. And we wanted also to set the requirements to the market, and we had to move with the Open BIM standards from that perspective. So Open BIM has been really vital in my BIM career, at least. So been involved with Building Smart, been board member in Building Smart Norway for a few years also.
Has Open BIM been important for you only when you worked with Statsbygg, or after that as well? How important it is right now with Streambeam?
Well, with Streambeam, it's vital because the Building Smart standards is the standards we support. It gives us as a downstream application only one interface to all the different BIM authoring tools. So it's vital for keeping up the speed in development. So for us, it's a great platform to work with. But I think also the Open BIM standard is kind of crucial for innovation. It means that companies like us, small tech companies, and there's quite a few of us, we are able to innovate and grab the data and do something clever with them. So I think that's crucial, not only to us, but to the entire industry, that we have those Open BIM formats.
I see.
Yeah. So I think from a competitive perspective as well, and for end users, it's kind of crucial that we have good platforms and people, or the big BIM authoring companies, that they actually implement support for those standards. It's kind of important.
Yes, indeed. What exactly is Streambeam doing?
Well, Streaming is a collaborative platform for BIM. So whatever they produce in the BIM authoring tools, you can import that and create a federated model, and you will communicate, do task management, decisions, etc. There are other tools that do the same, but it's a collaborative platform, and it was made from scratch to be used on handheld devices. So also the interfaces, you will see even on desktop, you will see the traces of the handheld functionality. So you're supposed to be able to operate it with your fingers. And it's supposed to be kept clean, simple. So even if you're out on site installing pipes or whatever, you should be able to use it. You don't have to be an expert to use it. So that's Streambeam in a nutshell.
Okay, so it's not only for planners. It's good for general contractors as well on the building site.
Yeah, I think many of our customers would say that we are a field BIM solution. So on site, bridging the gap between the design office and the site production has been our mission. But we see we're stretched in both directions, both more design planning, but also on the other side, handing over what people start referring to as digital twins after completed construction. But on-site has been our core functionality and where we have been ahead of many of our competitors.
How exactly it is used on site? Like what are we using? Are we talking about drawings, or can you go a little bit deeper into details here?
Yes, we stream as the product name indicates, Streambeam. We stream, so it's streaming technology of the models, but it's also drawings. So we have projects that have thousands of drawings, which you're able to stream to your device. So it means that as a site manager, you have all those 4,000 drawings in your pocket. You don't have to walk back to the barracks, navigate through a folder structure, find the document you need, print it, and then go back on site. You can pick it up by a simple navigation on your handheld device. But we think that drawing is, it will be less and less drawings and document-centric process. I think you should be able to generate your own drawings from a model, because it's not necessarily the drawings or the 2D view you want to get rid of. It's the hours spent in producing those drawings. So that's also a key aspect of our vision, at least. And we see that more and more of our customers really appreciate that, both because they save money, but also because you're changing the process from a push where the engineer or architect is tagging drawings with the measurements they think you need to produce, to that the guy actually installing it just derives and generates those measurements themselves, and you are able to communicate the same information to a model as you have been doing for thousands of years through drawings. So I think that's we're at the tipping point there.
Yeah, yeah, and not only that, I really believe there is a lot of value in something else, in the kind of data you get when you get a delivery of drawings. Like that data is not very smart data. I don't like to call it very smart because it's quite static, and it gets deposited maybe in a archive room where it's difficult to find it or something, right?
Yeah.
And meantime, it's much easier to just use an app and generate the views you need to read the details you need to do your work, right? And
yeah.
After that, for operations, it might be much easier to just find a smarter way to search for the information you look for. And it's maybe looking through hundreds of documents is not the best way, I believe.
No, I completely agree, and that's one of the things we realized in Statsbygg when I was there, that we actually paid people to dumbify the data, and that's what we asked for in our contracts. So instead of asking for those good, intelligent data that was already out there in the market, even early in 2000, we asked them to dumbify data and send that across. So it was a disaster, and a lot of the quality assurance that we did. I hope no one from Statsbygg is listening now, but we did some spot checking of those documents sent over as drawings. Maybe we managed to check 10-20%, and we hoped that the rest would hold the same quality. Instead of asking the machine to get rid of, say, 50% of that, would the machine, a simple Solibri check or something like that, could even quality assure much better than we could. So
Yes.
It's not a good process.
Yeah, the benefits are a lot and are huge, and their impact is huge as well.
Yeah.
Do you have right now any projects, or is the app used now in any projects that are drawingless projects?
Yes, we have more and more of that. Actually, we have just since you ask, our best Swedish project, Celsius, was just awarded the Building Smart Awards for construction. And that's a completely drawingless project. Yes, thank you. They're a really good team over there, and they have a great application, of course, to do that. But yeah, more and more projects are at least cutting down on the use of drawings, and we have some that are completely drawingless. And the Celsius project that has been run in Uppsala, it's a Vasakron project, but they were completely without drawings through the entire, well, both design and production. So it's, that has been really a great project for us. We also learned a lot what to provide and how to support that process. We also have large projects in Norway that are doing that. At the Haukeland sykehus, we have the Buss 2, Barne- og ungdomssykehus byggetrinn 2, which is a 50,000 square meter hospital project. And they are also, they're not completely drawingless, but more and more. So we see that some domains or disciplines are easier to support than others. But yeah, for example, the electrical installations are not that easy because there are quite a few things you don't put into the model. Where do you wire to which connection and support which? So we are working on some to better support that process. But it's the difference from domain to domain. But it's the industry is moving forward.
Yeah, at least in Norway.
Yeah, and that's also one of my really important issues that we should stop doing something as well. Is not because most of the BIM projects I've been involved in, it's by nature it's interpreted as this is something you do in addition to, on top of everything else. But to really improve, you need to stop doing something. That's when your productivity is going to have a boost, which is not something we have every year in this industry.
No, unfortunately, no. But there are also other factors there, and depends a lot also on the requirements of the client, right? To like, it's nice, Statsbygg, Barinor, Statsverket have updated requirements, and they try to implement this on most of the projects, or all of them, maybe. I don't know about other clients, but it gets more and more popular. So it might, sometimes there are some legal stuff involved that are not allowing you to go full drawingless. But at least at some extent you can go as much as possible, right?
Yeah, the contractual barriers are definitely not productive for the implementation of BIM. We still see most of the contracts, they rate drawings legally above the model. As you say, there are clients now trying to change that, and I think it's very easy psychology. You get good at what you're measured by, and if drawings are what you're measured by legally, that's what you become good at. If you change that, you will naturally have a bigger focus on the legal delivery that you will have. So I think that's crucial, and it's a bottleneck for implementation and also the ability to stop doing something which is not really productive.
Yeah, that is indeed very well put. But it's good that we have these clients that are trying to join in the future. To step in the future, right? What is BIM for you?
Oh, BIM. I guess I said that to me BIM is Open BIM, and Open BIM to me is about ownership to the data. You want to own your own data. Open BIM is also a great transport format. So transport things in and between business processes, and it's a fantastic archiving format as well. So it's those three key aspects, but it's all about process, isn't it? That you want to reuse rather than recreate data. So that's BIM, and also the transparency aspect. give people access to information they need to do their decisions is also a vital point BIM for me. So I've been I've been working with BIM for 20 years or more, and it's now it's feel like it's been going up all the way. The implementation, we're pretty lucky to be in Norway, I think, and we've been quite forward leaning, and also I think also the big public clients in Norway have made a huge difference because they invested in big projects, hospitals, museums, the airports. They invested in these large and long-lasting projects, which is very educational for anyone involved. So I think Norway is not the worst place to be.
Yes, it's always nice to be at the epicenter of the change, and let's hope that this will just go outside of Norway and Scandinavia as well, because the other Nordic countries are also doing a good job, and we like this needs to happen at the planetary scale. I don't see I don't see why not, and I think in the future people will realize that. So somebody said that Norway it's a very good as an incubator. Like Norway looks like an incubator because it's a small market, right? But this incubator can have a big impact on the entire world if people start seeing the value in approaching these innovations and progress, right? So
I think there are really good examples, and you have to lead by example. So I think we already had a huge impact internationally, actually, by the work we've done, and we also worked quite heavily with Building Smart as an organization as well. So I think we have a lot of clever people that have been involved in this, and I think we're making a difference.
that's very good, and I'm really looking forward to see like to the day when we don't need to talk about why do we have this, are there any BIM challenges, why people don't understand exactly what is BIM, why don't people don't use BIM for requirements, why people don't use BIM on their projects, why and why. I'm really looking forward to that day when everybody knows, like exactly how naturally we address to drawings right now, to think about everything what is new, like to not think about like I own these drawings, I don't need to share with anybody else or something, right? But everything is working as it's supposed to, and not only like it's not like this is not more effective, and that's why I'm very confused, because this it brings a lot of value and makes people saving a lot of money and time, right? But I guess the addiction to our comfort zone and to the old way of doing things, it's a little bit higher than to improve ourselves.
Yeah, change takes time.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
And change and cultural change as well. But like you said, like I'm positive. That's why I do this podcast, and I think it's going to happen. I want to try to do my share to maybe speed it up 0.0000001, but that would be nice for me. So yeah, do we actually see, like, do you have any challenges? Like we are in Norway, right? And we are happy for this. But are there still any challenges when we try to implement it? When you try to implement your product on projects and such, or everything is smooth and all is working well?
Well, I guess it depends who you ask, but we are definitely moving in the right direction. But there are of course still challenges, and like we said, changes take time. I had a good friend and colleague, Professor Arto Kivinemi. He said change happens out of fear or envy.
Oh.
So part of the problem is that there's actually not that many around that are much better than you as a contractor or consultant, and as long as there's no substitute really making it difficult to do your business, you don't change that fast. But I think, well, if you look on the Norwegian market, I don't think there's many consultants that would tell you that they don't do BIM right now. But I think you don't have to go too far out of Norway before you meet a lot of consultants that will say that, no, we don't do BIM, we do drawings. But you don't anymore here, so that change and that barrier is there. But as long as there's no one over there that makes a lot of more money, so you envy them, or because you're afraid of getting out of business because you're not in the game anymore, I think until you reach that point, is still a barrier. So the problem is we need those good examples to move forward. We also touched by the contractual regimes and how they are barriers to good implementation, because you still require drawings. The contracts are lagging behind the technology and also the adoption in the market. I think there are lots of players out there, both architects and engineers and contractors, that would be really happy to see some changes to the legal aspects of what your requirements for deliveries in the project are. Eventually, what you need to do is deliver good facilities, right? So the question is, how do you do that? But also the client side, the guys buying the services and houses, they are lagging behind. So we all need to get into this new way of thinking. It's the same delivery in many ways. It happens in a different way. There are more efficient way of doing this. So change take time. We just need to address all aspects and processes. It's so many actors involved. We did an R&D project in Stadsbygg at one point. It was a rather small project, 10,000 square meter, but there were 800 different actors involved, from the guys breaking the rocks for the facade out there to everyone, and it's just a lot of actors involved in this. It's not a value chain; it's a value system that needs to work together. So it's plenty of aspects and people that need to be on board to get this moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. It's very complex. That's another reason, but that is not an excuse for us to just sleep on.
And I think what we learned in Stadsbygg again is that we have to talk about what we shall not do anymore. It's a focus that we forget when us that travel around and speak about this brilliant stuff. We forget to tell them, well, this is what you can do, but you should not do this anymore. So talk about what you shall not do anymore. I think that's a good approach, because people as soon as they get something in addition or on top of everything else, they're not quite that motivated. So change focus.
Yeah, interesting. Can you give some examples of, for example, misconceptions about BIM and about this kind of things that you say?
Yeah, there are quite a lot of those. And well, speaking of the Open BIM formats, the IFC don't work expression that we saw in Norway, I guess, as late as 5 years ago. We still see them. I met them in a neighbor country just 6 months ago. And that's not the standard. The open standard that doesn't work. It's most often is the implementation of that by the BIM authoring tools, how that works. So that's one aspect of it. Another one is that BIM is the same as 3D, and I can understand that people think that because 3D could be a model or how should I put it? It's one report out of a BIM. A 2D drawing could be another report out of a BIM. A door schedule could be a third report out of a BIM. So a BIM is much more than 3D, but people tend to think that 3D and BIM is the same, but it's not. Like I said, 3D is only one report out of a BIM. That's another
If
misconception.
I may jump in here quickly, the geometrical representation is just one aspect of the information we talk
Yep.
about in modeling the information, right? So you have the graphical information, but there is other kind of information, right? Like you said, documentation with the different for different purposes. I don't know, maybe for fire resistance or something else, or equipment
Yep.
details or anything else. We don't need to have that in the model, but that is still part of the whole information we need to make a building work and
Yep.
function as it's supposed to, right? So that's I think, like, I've seen this. This is a problem and it's bugging me as well, because but I think it's because also because we did not. It would have been easier if there it was a name for this model. Maybe it would be just easier to just call it 3D model. But I don't know why people needed to call it BIM model, because it leads to confusion. Instead of thinking to BIM as the process, as the process of modeling, harvesting, using the information, but using attributing it to an object, which is the 3D model, right? Which is that's like you said, that's a part of BIM, and it's an important one, of course, but it's only the graphical part, right? And it's not only about that. Like when we talk about BIM, we talk about how we use the information.
Yep.
To get the best out of the project, right? For everyone involved, but the best mostly for the project, right?
Yeah, so I guess it's better actually to not use the acronym, but use building information model, because I guess the information part is vital, as you say. But it's also lots of relations there where you can use. Air terminal knows that it has a relation to a room, that has a relation to the surrounding walls. It has a relation to the floor, that has a relation to the building, the site, the project, etc. So it's in many ways also a relational database. So people need to realize that. And we also seen over the years that people, they say they want BIM, but as long as you don't know what to use it for, it's kind of difficult to get things started, because you get very fragmented and unorganized data information related to that. And as long as it's the structured data is not in those models, the use cases disappear for you. So it's kind of crucial that people also understand that they need to have structured data across all the disciplines and the models that are there.
Unfortunately, regarding, I think what led to this, this is like a very big confusion in regarding BIM, right? Unfortunately, I think a lot of the blame for this is are the software companies that have marketed very hard BIM as being the model you build in their software.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess at least the market leading BIM authoring tools are not necessarily so, well, it's not in their interest to be able to share that to other software, to put it like that. If you want to solve everything in your software, you don't want data to go outside. And I work in the software industry now, and I know that if you own the data, you own the customer. That's kind of a key to many companies, and especially the market leaders will hang on to that. And that's why, again, the Open BIM formats are so crucial. So you're able to actually take your own data and stick it into any application that solves your problem. So that's important.
Yeah, that should be a no-brainer actually. But yeah, we need to fight with the establishment. But it's good that things are happening on that front as well. And yeah, Building Smart is doing a good job regarding this. And yeah, it's going to be even better forward looking.
Yeah.
Do you see any other misconceptions maybe?
Well, I guess there are a lot of them. The worst one is that, well, BIM is not for me. We don't do that. It's just another way of saying you don't understand what's going on. Yeah, that's the biggest one. So I think BIM is for everyone. You just need to figure out what it is and how it can be used, and why it's a better way of working than what you do currently. and it's not necessarily that you do something else; you just do it a different way.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's take a break from complaining and let's look to the positive side. Do you see anything that is exciting happening in AEC industry?
Yeah. Oh yes. I think it's really exciting times. I have to say that. I think it's a very strong focus on. Well, I guess also COVID made it even more obvious that you need to be more digital, and people get stuck at home. You need to collaborate digitally, and of course, for a cloud solution like ours, it's not a bad thing. Now people are moving to the clouds for collaboration. So that's very exciting. COVID is not exciting as such, but I think the focus on the digital stuff, and as long as we go further than just putting some electricity to the paper, as some people do, and think that is being digital, I think that's we are definitely moving somewhere now. We also see the new ISO standard, the 19650, that has a focus on say data, graphical data, and documents. While I think the documents part of it is going to be smaller, and the data and the graphical data is going to kind of chip in. Also, the requirements we see coming out of the government in UK, very interesting. A country that has a long way to go, but they need to start somewhere, and I think they're really putting a focus on that. And I think that's financially motivated. When we started working with this, we had to chop in some extra R&D money to get things going. But now I think the financial motivation has really is what keeps the ball rolling now. People see that it's good money in actually implementing, and I think that's a good place to be, because now we're tipping over, and it's going to be fast forward. Now we're at a really good and very interesting spot right now.
That's so nice and good to hear.
Yeah, I was at a meeting in it was a IAI meeting, which is what Building Smart was previously called, in Budapest in 2001, and we had one exercise where we would write down, where do you see the industry in 5 years? and I remember I was pretty optimistic, and I guess we are maybe we are now approximately where I thought we would be in 2006.
Oh my God.
So it has been a long way, but
Do you see any improvement? Like right now, like you said, like I feel like from my perspective, from my feeling is that the last 12 months, let's say, the things have been accelerated a lot. Or maybe if you look at the last 2-3 years compared with the entire last 10 years, it's a big difference in these 2-3 years, last 2-3 years.
yeah, I agree. The last 2-3 years has been really really speeding up. It's been about becoming a really steep curve. So the 2-3 last years has been really good. At least in our home market, which is, I guess, Scandinavia here. But we see things are starting to move out there as well. So I'm really optimistic for changes in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
You said you mostly have clients from Scandinavia, not so much outside in Europe.
No, not yet. We have global ambitions, so we wanna be a global partner, and as also this SaaS solution that we have, app ID. We want to be an easy product where you want to just hand them over. But we see that maybe we need to explain them a few things about the concepts as well. So it takes a bit more time than we were hoping, but we have definitely global ambitions. So we want to go out also outside Europe with our product.
That sounds good. Good luck with that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it will be more. It will become more relevant, of course, and it might go actually like it might be different, right? Like instead of just people starting to understand better and better how they can implement BIM, they just can suddenly just see this application, try it, and say, "Oh, I could use this on my project. Why not?" Right? So let's
Yeah,
see if we try this project without drawings and see how it goes.
yeah.
But yeah, what are the biggest advantages? Like the most positive feedback you get from customers right now?
Regarding our software or in
Yes,
general,
yes,
our
yes.
software. Well, I guess the easy to use is a key, and also, of course, that everybody sees the snappy communication that you will have being on the cloud. And if somebody asks a question or request for information or something on site early in the morning, even if you're at the bus, you can just check that out, give them a response instead of waiting for hours. Somebody have to come into office, discuss. So you can clarify that. So it becomes very clear what you communicate because you have the model. You can even do snapshots, you can do comments, and you have communicated exactly, very exact what the issue is and what needs to be changed, or if you just need a decision. And I guess all billing projects is about two things. It's about tasks and decisions and how you follow up on them. That's the two basics of running a project. So as long as you know who's got that task and when he should be doing it and who follows up on that or taking the quick decisions, that's key. So that's I guess our biggest strength is that the communication that you have around it and the easy way of using it is our biggest competitive edges.
Is it so easy as to just upload the IFC file and you just start using it, or you need to do any customization?
No, it's that's basically it. You upload IFC. We group them into layers. So depending on how big and complex your project is. So like the 50 or 100,000 square meter hospital project, you will probably have almost 100 files. But we group them in so all the architectural files are in one layer, architectural layer, for example. So depending on how you want to group that or how complex your project is, but it's just upload and you need to process to create the federated model, and then it's plug and play. And we used to say that if you are able to navigate in Google Maps on your phone, you should be able to navigate in Streambeam on your phone as well. So that's our ambition.
That's a pretty low entry level, I would say. So should have a big success.
Well, yeah, that's what we hope. We believe that if you hand someone a tool that helps them do the job, they will use it. And if they use it, you get the good data. And if you have the good data, more people will use it. And you get into this good circle of sharing and building and enhancing and enriching. So that's kind of our strategy. Lower the barrier for using it, use it more, and then you get better data and you will get more usage.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. It makes completely sense.
Because I think the people that buy software, they're on top. They want to see those great graphs of how they're performing. But if the people down there is not using the software, if you have a hopeless tool that doesn't help you do your job, you will start using shadow systems, which means you get shit data. And maybe the cake on top looks good, but it doesn't mean that your project is running okay. So I think it has to start from the bottom if you want to generate those strategic good data where it makes you do the right decisions. You have to start on the bottom.
Yeah, that's strong, and it should be the way to do it. Actually,
It is the way to do it.
yeah. Well, it's not really happening, or it's happening, but like you said, like shadow data.
Yeah,
It was very it's a interesting concept, that one.
yeah. the biggest shadow system on Earth is Excel, because everybody is working
you
with
read
their
my
own
mind.
Excel. Yeah, those spreadsheets are all over the place. I have an extra column, you have an extra row, and there you go. That's
Best way to work together.
unambiguous data, right?
Yeah, well, Excel it's a wonderful tool for
Oh yeah, I use it a lot. I love Excel.
for a specific
But
purpose, right?
yeah, but not for collaboration necessarily.
Collaboration dies right there.
Yeah, it's your
Unfortunately.
sheet, and you have 3 versions of the same as well, like everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regarding other technologies that you see adopted in the AEC, what do you think can have the biggest impact?
I think, of course, AI is crucial. We're going to get the processing power now, and also I think more structured data will make it easier to understand and learn, and we can actually ask computers to learn for us, tell us what's the clever thing to do. And there are, of course, other interesting technologies, also because the devices become so much more powerful and can hand us the data. I think both scanning, augmented reality, maybe in a combination with the design files, so you know exactly what has been built, you know exactly what was designed, and you can combine that with what you see right now. Of course, very interesting. But we need to, it needs to mature a bit, some of those technologies. But I think we're going to scan more and more, and I think it's only a matter of years before every cleaning lady has a scanner on her trolley, and you have a live feed of the facility. So it means that the as-built documentation is going to improve massively. But you need to keep your data alive. That's where we fail today. The day you hand over the facility, 2 months later, the drawings start dying. And the same is going to happen with BIM unless somebody has a plan for how to keep it alive.
Digital twins. Now we
And then
come
we, of
there.
course, need to connect also the signaling. So you need to know how the building actually performs. And then you connect AI on top of that, you might even learn how to design a building. And we see that all these big platforms like Autodesk, Forge, etc., when they have 10,000 bridges in the cloud, don't you think they will be able to tell you how to build a bridge? I don't know. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, it's something like if you and you don't know how are they going to deliver that to you, and what is going to happen with everybody doing exactly that right now.
Yeah, and who owns that data?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of aspects to it, but you never know what technology brings. But I think, we are at the place where we can start learning things, which means there will also be very powerful software out there in not too distant future.
Yeah, and today it's happening. It's like we scan quite a lot of buildings, but not me, but generally, like overall, I see this kind of services flourishing. But I still think it's a little bit expensive technology, and which it makes it expensive delivery. So maybe a quite luxurious service that not is not required on every project. But this,
Yeah.
like the technology improves a lot. Like it's going to become cheaper and cheaper until it's going to make sense to just have it. Like it will become obviously that you lose if you don't have it.
Yeah. Everybody's looking for return on investment. So if the device is expensive, you expect to save more money, and somebody need to demonstrate that that's how it is. But I think the potential is huge.
Yeah. What about drones? What do you think about drones?
Well, that's another aspect, of course, for both indoor and outdoor scanning. Indoor, because you have also, the Oslo airport that has a lot of air, where you can actually get to places where you've never been before. So obviously that will give you the possibility of scanning where you can't even be. And I think those drones will be so precise that you can also go above the suspended ceiling, because that's where the problem is usually in facility management and maintenance and operations. All those places you cannot see. So I think drones can definitely play a part. Already does, I think, where you get a bigger overview. You get the bird's view quite easy. Also for scanning, it will be cheaper to scan from a drone than put this scanner 20 places around the facility and just fly around it. So definitely a part of the evolution in the scanning area.
Yeah, yeah, exciting times.
It is definitely. There's only the imagination that holds you back.
Yeah, that's true indeed. And that's the reality. Like, if you think about what a usual or normal person can have access today compared to a king a few hundred years ago, like from a comfort point of view, it's unbelievable. Even 50 years ago, even 100 years ago, right? You don't need to look so much behind. So yeah, it's the acceleration of the progress has been tremendous lately.
Yeah, and it will continue.
Yeah, it will just grow exponentially. Yeah, I know. Now let's hope that all the outcomes will. It can go wrong as well when you go so quick. So let's hope that we will go into the right direction, especially with AI. If we talk about these technologies, like
yeah, it's exciting but also frightening. So we'll have to balance that. Yeah.
what can we do with skeptics about BIM? Do you have any
I'll
advice?
make more money than them. Yeah, just make them know how much money you make when you're doing it. It's like Professor Arto Kiviniemi said, it's fear or envy that will make change. No, but one thing I learned from being in this industry for a long time is that you have to work with the motivated. That's the only way of moving things forward. And that's also where you learn. You have to work with the motivated. They will make things happen, and that's when you move both your own skill set, but also project and the industry forward. So the skeptics, they can be skeptics for a while, but you just have to repeat the message again and again. It's like, the coach of the Norwegian football team says, repetition, repetition, repetition. It's that's the only way. Also in this area.
Yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know. Can't we find any way to integrate the skeptics in here? Like, I know it's definitely the motivated people, the interested ones that will make the change. But I'm thinking, like, can we do something, or can they do something to expand the views of others?
I think if you look on say on the Norwegian market at least, or in general, I guess there are far less skeptics now than 5 years ago, and even further less than back in 2005. Everybody almost were skeptic. Even the resellers of BIM authoring tools could tell you that, well, this doesn't work really. So we are moving in the right direction, and I think the key to that is the good examples. Keep telling about those good projects, showing, demonstrating, show something live, and not only PowerPoints, because the skeptics have seen the PowerPoints. They don't believe in those PowerPoints. So you need to show them, demonstrate. So that's just telling these good stories. Keep telling those good stories. That's how it. I think is the only way forward.
Yeah, that's valid. That's good. But what about the motivated people? What can they do to get further? Are there any things like from, like, let's say somebody would like to learn more about the best tools, or I don't know, how do you, for example, keep yourself updated regarding everything around BIM?
I think you have to get yourself involved in those relevant projects. So I guess getting your hands dirty is the best way of learning. At least that's what how I experienced my education on this area. Go into the projects, get your hands dirty, try out stuff, and convince someone to try something. We all need to learn and educate to make the best decision for the future. You need to go in there, and you need to invest, and also both the project leaders and the clients, and say the strategic level of every company. They should invest in educating their people in interesting technology. So they're motivated. They need to work with motivated leaders.
That's you know that's very important what you said, exactly right there. And I don't know, I'm afraid that not always the motivated leaders know about exactly, are aware about the potential of this.
I think you're right.
So I think that's a challenge right there. And yeah, how do you approach this? How do you, because you cannot just go, yeah, you are my leader, boss, here, you should learn this, right?
Well, again, the good examples. Show them some demonstrators. Ease their, say, their curiosity with something. Here's good money. Here's good process. Here's good recognition. Yeah. And the guy over there, he will envy you if you do this.
Yeah, that's a really good strategy indeed.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess, well, everybody's different, but you should, start teasing their curiosity. So start the small gray ones. It might take time, but still get them started.
Yeah, but you know what? This might work very well here in Norway, where I don't know, you definitely are open to suggestions, or if somebody, an employee or a colleague comes to you, right, and wants to tell you, yeah, we could
Yeah.
do this, we could try that. You are open to this, right? Like this is normal, the cultural norm in Norway, right?
Yep.
I would dare to say that is not really the case outside Scandinavia, maybe. So
I
that
agree.
might be a challenge, a big challenge.
No, I think that's actually our biggest competitive edge, that development can come from below. You can suggest changes, and you're not only doing what you're told to do. You say, well, if we do it like this, it might even be a better way of doing it, and that's allowed. It's a very flat structure, and I think that's our biggest competitive edge on innovation from many other regions of the world.
Yeah, so that
So I think it's a good point.
might be good to change a little bit this as well, the outlook, or the, yeah, the hierarchy in companies. It's very abrupt in
Yeah.
outside. Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But still, like, if you want to improve yourself, like, nobody can stop you to try to improve, even if you can do it in your own time, right? You can try, like, you do something in the wrong way at work, you can try to see, like, if you see a potential technology that might help you, or a software to do it better, you can try on your time if you really want to, right? And after that, you can show it maybe to a colleague or something. And yeah,
Yep.
I don't know, there are more ways, but I think self-motivation regarding this, and self desire to explore different ways of doing things, and not adhering just to, yeah, this is how I do my work, and I will not look around and see if I can do it better.
Yeah. 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 I guess there are different cultures out there, and I've been working quite a lot with the US market, and well, see, they are much better at writing good reports, because they're reports where you actually convert something into return of investment.
Okay.
And they say that, well, this is you're going to save 30% if you do it like this, and nobody verifies the numbers, but it says 30%, and that's okay. So we jump on that.
Wow.
In this neighborhood here, we say, well, that's cool, let's try it, and we jump on it, and we try, and we think it's much better, but we never quantify it. We don't write those reports, so we maybe we should marry the academics a bit more here in this area. But there are different ways of doing that, because, well, if you say that this report shows that it's 30% savings, well, the boss jumps on it and you have a go.
Wow.
There are different cultures.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
mechanism.
Is there anything else you would like to mention right now that I might have forgotten to ask you about?
Well, I guess this is a domain we can talk forever about, but well, no, I can't think of anything special. You have to get me started
That's
at something. Yeah.
Then very good. How can somebody contact you if they would like to ask you something?
They could try our website, streambeam.com, or they could connect through our, through email, which is my 3 letters OKK, and then @rendra.io. That's my email. So please connect there, or we also have a phone here. And someone will pick it up and you'll be helped.
Okay, so is your website in English as well, or only in Norwegian?
No, it's in English as well. So streambeam.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining me. It was a pleasure.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Thank you for taking the time.